Hello guys, welcome back to another episode. Today we are going to be changing the engine mounting as well as some other bits here and there. We're going to be changing some parts of the intake manifold. Hopefully we'll get to service the injector as well. Thinking the injector service kit will arrive today, or maybe that will help with the idling issues. In cold start it will idle a bit rough, I'd say, and a few other things. So yeah, let's get started. Alright, first off, before we do anything, I just want to remove this anti-roll bar so that gives us space to change everything else. I'll be taking out the airbox as well because I'm going to take out the intake manifold. Alright, the roll bar is out, so now we're going to remove the airbox. Alright, now the airbox is out, so next is we'll be removing the intake manifold. Alright, the next order of business is to remove this. Right, most of the things are out of the way. Now is to remove the intake manifold. How do you like the new camera angle? I purchased a new tripod, so hopefully this can give you a clearer view of what I do. Alright, the top part is done. Now we have to go to the underside to remove the support from underneath the car. Let's go. Alright, after a lot of fiddling about, I think this is the best angle that I'm going to get, and so yeah, let's get started. To make sure that it's easier to reinstall the intake manifold back, I'm just going to be removing the support bracket. Ow! Alright, support bracket is out finally. So let's head back up and remove the intake manifold. Alright, so let's remove the intake manifold. Alright, now we got this thing out. First of all, I'm going to clean the intake manifold, and then after that I'm going to clean the throttle body as well. And after that, most probably we're going to need to go to a workshop that can relearn the throttle body. That's always the case. And I'm going to be changing some parts. This thing over here, I'm going to change it to a new one. This thing controls the butterfly flap inside the intake manifold that changes the intake runner from the long runner to the short runner. And sometimes this thing can cause, most of the time, this thing can cause like a knocking sound. I have some theories about that. Sometimes it's just that this part is loose, and sometimes the screw comes out because you can't really tighten it all the way. If not, the whole thing will get stuck. And in the severe cases, the butterfly valve itself is already broken, so it's just flapping around. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the injector and double check if the same part number with my old one, and if it is, I'm going to change to my old one because I've recently serviced it, and maybe that will fix the idling problem. So let's get to that. So let's compare. So this is the original one that comes with my car, and this is the comes with the new engine. So let's see, the part number is PW810689. They are both the same, so I'm going to be using this one. The next thing I'm going to check if fuel rail itself is the same part number, which I believe it is, and check with the fuel regulator if it's the same part number. It's 3.5 bar. It's a Bosch unit. 566. So far I see that they are all the same. 028 0160562. They are all the same. So I'm going to swapping out this one back in. So I'll be cleaning this one up in a bit. Now it's time for us to press on with the rest of the intake manifold. Well, the throttle body itself is not that bad. Still looks kinda decent, but it won't hurt just to clean it up a bit. So let's do that. Next thing I'm going to do is take out the map sensor. Oily, but to my untrained eye it doesn't look so bad, so I'm going to clean that as well. This one is a bit loose, so I'll be attaching a cable tie just to make it more secure. And this one is also, I'll be attaching a cable tie. So the next thing is to remove the IFM controller. And it's out. Basically what this is pneumatically operated, electronically controlled. At 4500 RPM it will send a signal to activate, and just goes in like that, and that in turn turns this thing to this position, which switches from the long runner to the short runner. I've tightened it this one before because it was making that knocking sound that I told you, but in turn it's a bit hard to turn that thing, so I've got a new part over here, so hopefully that will fix that. If not, it is what it is. So next thing I'm going to do is just to clean this thing out. Alright, I'm going to just rinse it with water. Alright, for the engine mount I'll be using this brand, Misuko. It was recommended by my spare part shop. I don't know, maybe it's good. Maybe it's good for him. But this one I purchased it at 230 ringgit. The original one would cost me around 500, 600 ringgit. So I opted for this one instead. So it comes in a set. Got all of the 4 mountings. So first we're going to change the mounting that is on the right side of the engine. Perhaps you can't see it yet, but there you go. Now you can see it. So let's get started. I guess there's more difference than I initially thought. You can see the new one. There's 3 keys over here, and the old one only have 1. What that means is that this rubber flange no longer fits, because as you can see the keys are eccentric, so it doesn't fit in any other way. So, well, not going to use it then. Now we're going to go to the other side and change the gearbox mounting. Alright, so now I'm going to support the gearbox and we can start removing the mounting. That's not tight. Release the jack, and that's good. Now let's move on to the next one. So the next one I'm going to remove is the front one. So let's get to it. Ooh, it's out. And just like that, it's out. Yay! Yay. Alright. We're not going to fully tighten this one yet. The reason is because the behind one needs some flexing so that we can adjust to make it fit. So let's fix the behind one and we'll come back to the front one. There you go. Alright, time to install the new one.
done. So we're going to go back to the front, tighten it up properly. Let's tighten up. Alright, let's go back up top. Alright, now all that is left is to tighten up this one right here. Alright. That feels good. So previously I installed this metal gasket, but there's a mistake. This one is for the older version of Tempo engine. The new one doesn't need it. So I'm going to throw this away. Because the new one already comes with its own gasket. So yeah, it doesn't need it. So let's install the thing. I hope you can see what I see, so let's get cracking. I'm not sure how much of this you're going to be able to see. Yes. I can't see much. Anyway, so yeah, let's get it started. That's the bottom bracket done. So let's go back up and finish up the installation. Alright, we'll continue with the installation of the injector. back the air filtering. Alright, I think it's done. But just before that, I just need to do some changes here and there. First off, we'll be changing the coolant spare tank. We have the new one over here. Look at how crusty looking the old one, and there's a old leak over here that I changed. One thing to mention is that I noticed that this engine had been sipping in coolant, but like I said, we'll sort it out when we overhaul the engine. So as of now, this car is good to go. So I'm just going to transfer the old one to the new one because I don't have any spare coolant, and it's gonna top up the rest. So yeah. So I'm going to top up with the distilled water the rest of the way. Some for me, some for the car. That's up to the full line. Install the cap. And that's done. I think I'll just start the engine and see how it goes then. Before I start the engine, just to double check I got everything back in order. Everything that needs to be tightened is tightened, everything that needs to be installed is installed. Alright then, let's start the engine. I'm not so smart. Damn. Alright, take two. Forgot to install this. We need fuel. Alright, let's try that again. Oh, it's much smoother. The knocking sound also is not that bad. It's still there, it's not that bad. The idling is much better, I think. We'll wait until it calms down and go back to its idle temperature. That's the push valve. Not the best I think, but much better than before. Well, I do think it needs to go to a workshop and get it relearned. It doesn't drop down to its normal idling range. It's idling at 1000 RPM. It should go down to 900 RPM. So I think just go to the workshop, get it sorted. And the next thing is that I noticed there's like a knocking sound on the IFM. So I just need to tighten it up a bit. And yeah, I guess that's it. Yeah. So I think we're done for this episode. And I guess we didn't get to do the injector cleaning, but it's okay. I think it's running quite fine now. Other than that, I think the radiator needs to be changed to a beefier one. I do see the expansion tank taking up the coolant from the radiator, so I guess a beefier one can help with that. Other than that, yeah, I think it's good. So that's it for this episode. I'll see you guys on the next one. Cheers.